Military Appreciation Day around the National Football League, and happy Veterans Day out there to all our great veterans. Today's game being broadcast in Spanish. We're available using the SAP button on your television. Denver and Carolina coming up on CBS.
CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Broncos and Panthers coming up here on the home of Super Bowl 47, CBS. Jim Nantz and Phil Simms with the chance to call it today in beautiful Charlotte, North Carolina. And you've been wistfully talking for 2 days. The weather's been gorgeous. It's right at about 70. Again, nothing but blue skies. What a great kind of conditions to play in. You wish you had days like this more often.
Well, yeah, I wish I had more of them. I look at days like this, I go, yeah, I wish I could still play, but if somebody would hit me, I'd come crawling back up here to this booth to you. But it is perfect conditions, and Jim, and of course, quarterbacks, receivers, and it puts all the players in the right frame of mind.
Look at the skyline here of Charlotte in this stadium that really helped revive this downtown area. Now, Denver won the toss and deferred. So Matt Prater will be sending it down the way to Edwards. Doesn't matter if he's in altitude. Prater sends it all the way through the back of the end zone and a touchback. Here comes Cam Newton. A year ago, he accounted for 35 touchdowns, throwing and rushing. He's got 10 so far this year at the midway point. His line has had to be retooled in the center part of it, but they've got a steady presence on that left side in Jordan Gross. And then, of course, you've got the reliable veteran Steve Smith. Bill will tell you he hasn't slowed down, although it took until last week before he found the end zone for the first time this season. Jonathan Stewart starts at running back, and the Panthers begin in a shotgun formation. First time ever, Panthers come out wearing the all-dark uniforms and with a swing pass over to Stewart. And Steve Smith was out there trying to throw a block. We got a flag.
Steve Smith, you couldn't even get it out of your mouth, Jim, how good of a blocker he is down the field. This could be a personal foul because he was peeling back towards his own end zone and making a block to a player who could not protect himself.
Al Riveron.
There is no foul on the play. Second down.
They pick up the flag. Al Riveron and his crew here in Charlotte.
Well, you're going to watch the throw outside. Steve Smith's going to come. Here comes the block. Oh, it's nice. Doesn't go to the head. Takes his shoulder to the body. Good, correct call by the officials. Getting together and figuring it out.
Yeah, you've been telling me all week. The best there is as far as blocking for all the wide receivers in the league, and he got a piece of Von Miller right there. There's Ron Rivera, second year as the head coach of the Panthers, having taken over, if you will, for John Fox, who was not extended after the 2010 season. That was a 7-yard pass play to Stewart. And for some reason they have the ball marked at the 22. It should be close to the 27, I believe. Here he is past the 20, 25, and
The ball will be respotted at the 24-yard line where the player went out of bounds.
well, I didn't see that either. They're only going to put him at the 24, and he was past the 24 when he was tiptoeing right along the sidelines. So Carolina might have lost a yard of maybe as many as 3 on that spot.
Big story today, the offensive line you already mentioned for the Carolina Panthers. Can they run with power?
Here they run with Stewart into the secondary and out to the 38-yard line. Tackled by Raheem Moore and Champ Bailey after 14.
Watching the end zone, watch everything get crushed down inside. Greg Olsen, number 88, pushes the defensive end down inside. Stewart breaks it outside. That is a nice read by him. And Jim, in just my opinion, I'd give the football a lot more often to number 28.
They have not really been committed to getting the running backs actively involved so far this season. to LaFell. And he's got about 5 with that one. Here's the Denver defense under the direction of Jack Del Rio. Dumerville with 6 sacks on the season. They've got playmakers on this side. Von Miller with 9 sacks. That's tied for second best in the league. And Champ Bailey, the 11-time Pro Bowler, had his first pick of the season last week in the victory at Cincinnati.
Love the outside screen. You're going to run the give and go with the quarterback. You need to throw it outside sometimes because the extra defenders in there to stop Cam Newton.
2nd and 5. Newton has to take off with it. And he runs into the arms of Dumerville. And maybe a yard with that one.
Defensive backs, one of the strengths for the Denver Broncos. Anybody open quick? The answer is no. Let's look up top. Quick routes. Everybody on the receivers. Cam Newton pulls it down. Jim, we said it in our opening. The one thing about this Denver defense, they might be a little undersized, but they are fast. So when big number 1 pulls it down and runs with the football, they believe they can chase him down before he does too much damage.
Mike Tolbert, the former Charger, has come into the backfield. He's on the left side of Newton here on 3rd and 4. As Newton tries to get away, but fails to. It's Von Miller, the 2nd pick a year ago, takes down the 1st overall selection.
Well, that answers one of the questions. Von Miller, how about that? The 1st and 2nd picks of the draft last year, and Miller now healthy, doesn't have that hand in the cast. He is playing exceptional football. He made that look easy. Oh yeah, that little, how about that?
Gave Cam a little of his own right there. They were together at an off-season event, and Von Miller thought that Cam talked a little too much trash about this pending matchup later in the season. Although when you talked to them both this week, they didn't seem to make too much of a deal out of it then. Here's Holiday on the return, and he is smothered right there on the spot. Beautifully covered by Jordan Sin after the 50-yard punt by Nortman. Peyton Manning coming onto the field here in Charlotte. His first snap coming off a 50-yard punt by Brad Nortman. He's the lowest ranked punter in the league, but he sent a beauty down the way, the rookie from Wisconsin. And here come now the Broncos, winners of their last 3, beginning at the 14-yard line. Double tight end set with Dreesen and Virgil Green. McGahee, the running back, and he gets the carry right side into a wall of defenders, including DeJuan Edwards for 2 yards. Could be more history today made by Peyton. 2 touchdown passes. He'll move past our Dan Marino into the 2nd all-time career touchdown passes. 399 came with the Colts, 20 here through 8 games in a Broncos uniform. It totals 419, 1 to Ty Marino for 2nd, 2 to Tyler. The 2nd and 7 pass goes to Tammy, and he's short of the first. That goes for 6. Here's the rest of the Bronco offense. Ramirez steps in for Cooper, who's going to miss some time with an ankle injury. And then Decker, speaking of touchdown passes, he's caught 1 in the last 5 consecutive games. 1 more to tie the franchise record. And again, Green for the 2nd time is in the game. Here on 3rd and short, 3rd and a yard. Beautifully played by the Panthers. Charles Johnson in on McGahee right away, and it's a 3 and out for Denver.
Yeah, Charles Johnson just so quick on the outside, beats the tackle Orlando Franklin, and the one strength, the big strength of this football team, when you talk about the Carolina Panthers, this defensive line rounded into form. Ron Rivera, it's what I've always wanted when I got the head coaching job.
Britton Colquitt sends it down to Munnerlyn. Munnerlyn from the 17 out across the 25, and then Willis backs him up a little bit. 60-yard boomer that time by Colquitt, and now we'll see Cam Newton in Carolina for the 2nd time. We're underway in Carolina. And Bill Sims Getting set now for Carolina's second series. You got Stewart still in the backfield, and he gets his second carry, and he's hit after a gain of 2. Von Miller making plays the last time we saw the Denver defense out there.
Yeah, he's coming in this game, I think, pretty motivated, and he talked about it. He's healthy. And you know, the other thing that you can see right away when you look, imitate the Cam Newton's little Superman thing, very good imitation. But he's heavier this year, Jim. You can see it when you look at him on the field. He's stronger, and it's helping his game on the defensive side without question.
He's up about 10 pounds. Plus, you remember last year he had to wear a cast. He said this game's hard enough to play with 2 hands, much less one. As Newton on 2nd and 8 has Olsen open. And the tight end sneaks it across the 50 over to the Denver side of the field. Finally brought down by Chris Harris. And a gain that time of 26.
Well, Jim, it's what they love to do. Olsen, they're going to come out here. He's going to come across the field, going to be open behind the linebackers. Let's watch as he comes across. He's on this side. Oh, I confused it. He's on it underneath, looking over the top, wide open between defenders. And a good job by Cam Newton staying with Greg Olsen and hitting him wide open.
Von Miller is all the way back some 30 yards away from the huddles. And the Denver training staff is out there. We'll take a break. Here's what happened to Von Miller. Now, he did walk off under his own power, but this could have been ugly. Vickerson, his own teammate, and then watch Byers land on that ankle as well, the right guard for Carolina. So he did walk off okay. Nate Irving out of North Carolina State going to take his place in the lineup. And we'll see D'Angelo Williams in the backfield on the Panthers side for the first time in this game. There's Irving, drafted in the 3rd round a year ago. Fake to Williams and setting up screen over to Tolbert. Mike Tolbert inside the 40, inside the 30, get down to the 23. Finally tackled by Keith Brooking.
Well, I like the start today. They're showing some screens. They haven't shown a lot of these, but nice fake by Cam Newton and Mike Tolbert. Look at that body. This man can run down the field. He's an excellent catcher of the football. He made a good lead block a minute ago. What a great part of the football team. Can do everything for your offense.
That's the second 26-yard play on this drive. One to Olsen, that one to Tolbert. And Newton's hit his first 4 throws to 4 different targets. Williams gets his first handle. That's a short gain. Maybe 3. Get the latest news, analysis, and predictions from Pat Kerwin, Pete Prisco, and other CBS Sports experts. Watch Pro Football 360 live weekdays, 3 p.m. Eastern, or on demand. CBSSports.com/Pro Football 360.
Well, we heard Bill Cowher. You've said it to Jim. You and I have talked about it. But Bill Cowher said in the pregame show, look out. Don't be shocked. This Carolina team, good matchup against Denver. Playing better.
2nd down and 7, and Newton has the tight end again. It's Olsen out of bounds at the 5, bumped out by Harris. Another 16 on that play.
One of the concerns, would Cam Newton get time to throw the football down the field? So far, the answer is yes. They are mixing up the plays very well. Nice job by Cam Newton getting off the short receiver. And Greg Olsen, he's the guy to look out for. Denver, you should play him man-to-man. Otherwise, he runs down the field fast, knows how to get open in those zones.
Stewart and with Miller's back in there. It's 1st and goal from the 4, and Stewart's back in the backfield. Fake it to him, and they go to a wide open man, and it's Olsen taking it across for the touchdown. He caught 3 passes on that drive, and the final one goes for 6.
Really showing a lot of variety in their plays, what they're doing here. Cam Newton makes the fake. And then Greg Olsen does the sneak behind the line of scrimmage. Excellent job. Good patience by Greg Olsen. and the defense of the Broncos, nobody saw him.
Second touchdown of the season for Olsen. This is home game number 5 of the year for the Panthers. It's only the 3rd Newton touchdown pass at home. And now Medlock will come out for the extra point, and Nortman on the hold. Great series there for Newton and the Panthers, with Olsen doing a lot of the damage. Caught 3 passes for 46 yards and a touchdown on that series, and the extra point makes it 7-0. Well, the Broncos off to a typical slow start. The first 7 to the home team. There's a son of a high school coach, a legendary coach up in New Jersey. His father,
I know him well.
His father, Chris, has won 9 state titles, and this is going to be his final year up there at Wayne High School after some 40 years of coaching football in the Garden State. Here's the returner, Holiday, who had the 105-yard run back last week, trying to get to the outside, and he squirms to the 27.
Well, Jim, let's go back and watch the touchdown. It's hard to see. Here's Greg Olsen in here. Watch the blocks before he gets out there and makes this play. They really sell it. There's no way Denver can say, oh, he's going to release for a pass. He carries it all the way back. Cam Newton sells it well, too. And Greg Olsen wide open. It reminds me 1982. Bill Walsh down on the goal line against the Bengals. Earl Cooper caught a touchdown. Everybody's been running that play ever since then.
1 first down. It's a Manning toss to McGahee, who makes a nice move away from Munnerlyn and comes up maybe just a few inches shy of the first. 9 or 10 gained on that one. Sean McDermott, defensive coordinator here for the Carolina Panthers. They've got an impressive defensive front. Kuechly, the young first-round pick out of Boston College. And there's their secondary with another rookie, Norman. That throw to McGahee was enough for the first, and there's the first down run by McGahee for another 3. Willis McGahee in his 10th year. When we talked to him yesterday afternoon, he was talking about how people are getting on Peyton's page now. Everybody on this team, it's all coming together now.
Now, if you want to be part of this team, you better get on page with number 18.
There's Decker. And he's wrapped up quickly by Sherrod Martin, held to 2 yards.
One thing you have to be alert for always when you play this offense led by Peyton Manning, those quick outside screens to the receivers. That was a good start for this Carolina defense, stopping it.
Line! 58 spike! Rain!
Got a 3rd and 5. Stepping up and going down the sideline, and dropped by Decker. Trying to catch it over the shoulder.
Well, he loses the timing a little bit. Watch Eric Decker, top of your screen. I love these releases. They switch releases. Now, who is going to cover him when he goes deep? It confuses them. Peyton Manning doesn't quite throw it the way he wants. He stepped up in the pocket. The football was a little soft, and Eric Decker just lost the timing of trying to catch it.
Colquitt now to punt again. 60 yards with his first one. Munnerlyn, he's going to field it at the 7. Colton's there to bring him down. And Bruton, 52-yard punt. No yards on the return. 7-0 Panthers first quarter. In America today, and how is that possible? 60 Minutes finds out where some of the very best of them are. Tonight, only CBS.
What 80? What 80? That's it. 180.
Went down the field the last time with it. This drive starting at the 7, and that ball deflected at the line of scrimmage. Ron Rivera, in his 2nd year at Carolina after being the defensive coordinator at San Diego. He had success there, matchups against Peyton Manning, by the way, but in his 2nd year here, and there's been improvement. We've seen it just looking through the action the last month. with the Panthers.
Yeah, no doubt about it. The football team kind of rounded into shape to what I think they want to become. I like it when Cam Newton is under center more because they're more.
As Stewart picks up 2 into the arms of Brooking. We got an update here. Let's go back to James Brown in New York. Yeah, we've been hearing a lot about that too, JB. Sometimes we see it at the practices on Friday. Here on 3rd down, going for the long ball. And it's Murphy, the intended receiver, but Tony Carter was right there with him. We do have a flag down.
To say if that flag happened in the end zone, that would be a safety if it's holding.
Illegal use of the hands to the face, number 61 on the offense. The penalty is declined, 4th down.
And this was the first.
The foul occurred in the field of play.
Okay.
61, Silatolu. Oh, Elvis Dumerville coming around, puts the hands right to the face. And on the outside, it was well covered. Number 32, Tony Carter. They call him Sticky Man for the Broncos defense.
Yeah, he's been a pleasant find. That was the first incompletion for Newton, who started the game 6 for 6 for the first time in his career. J.J. Jansen snaps it back to Nortman. And he's got another impressive kick here. Holiday surveys, tries to go wide. Nakamura not able to bring him down. There goes Holiday. And the ball comes out at the end. Got an official ruling him down. They said he was down first. 57-yard punt. 7 yards on the return.
He's got the red, white, blue, flying high on the farm. Semper Fi tattooed on his left arm. Spent a little more in the store for a tag, and the back it says USA. Made in America. Born in a heartland.
Don't you love it? Made in America, Toby Keith. And in honor of Veterans Day, for every point scored during the NFL's 32 Salute the Service Games, the league donates $100 to each of its nonprofit partners, the Pat Tillman Foundation, USO, and the Wounded Warrior Project. Join the salute. Visit NFL.com/salute.
You know, it catches my eye today. You look out in the stands, some empty seats, but how many Bronco fans traveled from Denver to watch this?
Yeah, they've got good support here.
A lot.
From the 41, running play with McGahee backing it in for 5. Well, John Fox, he accomplished a lot here in his 9 years. 3 division titles, 4 times to the playoffs, twice to the NFC Championship game, and once to the Super Bowl, only to lose at the very end on a Vinatieri kick against New England. 2nd and 5. Down the field, Thomas snags it at the 25 and is tackled at the 21. Demaryius Thomas targeted for the first time, and it goes for a big one over Josh Norman for 30.
Yeah, they catch the safety there. Godfrey looking at the crossers coming across the field, and Peyton Manning with the play action fake throws it over the top, and Thomas just he looks better every time you watch him with this Denver offense.
Denver wasting no time getting to the line, and again it's McGahee. Kuechly is there to meet him.
You go back to that last play, Jim. What did Ron Rivera tell us? We were talking to him yesterday. If you're a safety, you're back. If you get fooled on a play action fake, that is the worst thing that can happen. The quick fake by Peyton, they get fooled, he throws it right over the top.
They load up the left side with Stokely, Decker, and Thomas. On a 2nd and 7. Open, across the middle. The tight end, Dreesen, for another first down. And picks up 9.
Usually when they put 3 receivers to one side, it's block everybody and throw it to the left. That time, Dreesen releases. He's wide open down the field because the Carolina defense all looking at the 3 wide receivers to Peyton's left.
Right at the 10-yard line. 1st and goal to go, and Dreesen went right to the bench.
Go right!
right, looking end zone, coming back to an open Stokely.
What a play.
Across the body, and he finds Brandon Stokely for the touchdown.
Well, they love it. 3 receivers to one side, and they're going to try to sprint Peyton Manning out and hit somebody in the flat. That's covered. Here we go back here. Watch Stokely. He's the one that makes the play. The sprint out, the receiver to the flat is covered. You look down the field, he's covered. And Brandon Stokely, seeing the open spot, gets it done.
Well, with that touchdown throw, it's number 420 in Manning's career, tying Dan Marino's second all-time. Game is tied at 7. Brandon Stokely came to North Carolina where Peyton was working out back in the spring. His career was resurrected. They come back to Carolina today and hook up for the touchdown. Would pull him into a tie with Dan on that all-time list, number 147.
Well, look at him, Peyton Manning getting it done. Yes, he's got talent, he's tall, but such a thinking quarterbacks change the way coaches run their teams. They're putting more and more responsibility on quarterbacks, and he's the one that led the way. But I'll say this about Dan Marino, not just saying it because he works for CBS. If he played in today's game, he'd throw 600 touchdowns. So, said my piece.
Boy, it really is, though. When you get Peyton, you get a coach as well. The way he was talking to everyone on that sideline, you hear everybody talking about how they've learned from him. Now, you saw the all-time number, though, is 508. Brett Favre, you start figuring the pace he's going on right now, about another 36 games it would take. About a little more than 2 seasons, 2.5 years to get into that territory.
Well, it's a long way in football, especially when you talk about hits, injuries, time, but there's no doubt in my mind if he can stay healthy, doesn't take a lot of hits, he's going to break all those records.
Set. 180.
Good throw, it is too high. He was targeting Steve Smith, although LaFell was also in the area. Tomorrow, 2 broke girls find the sweetest thing possible in a candy store on a new episode on America's #1 network, CBS.
Now, I feel bad for you sometimes, Jim, because you got to listen to all my theories all week long about games. But here it is. You heard me say all week, and I said it here in this game. I like it when Cam Newton is under center because you can give him space to throw the football and play action fakes, and your offense is going to be more deceptive when the quarterback is in there.
Now he's going to run an option here. And he dives to the 26. That was Bannon who had the first play on him, and then he was finished off by Tony Carter, picks up 6.
And this running, it's great. It's a nice thing to do. I think it's a change of pace that you have every now and then. But the NFL, I watched Cam Newton and Robert Griffin III last week, and I went, wow, it's amazing. The NFL adapts so fast, and we're seeing the give and go, and everybody is learning how to play it because they see it more. How about Denver, Jim? Who'd they have a quarterback last year?
Yeah, their defense, they felt pretty equipped to take on Newton today because they practiced against it last year every day when Tebow was their quarterback. 3rd and 4. Pressure, ball's knocked out. Picked up by Denver, and then it comes out again, and I think Newton in the end falls on it.
Oh, big guys got to fall on the football. When you're around that pile, fall on it. Elvis Dumerville. That's what you got to look out for. Number 92. What a spin move on the outside against Byron Bell. Takes it right out of his hand. My gosh, he really did reach up, Jim, and
that's like
take it out of his hand.
Stuffing the shot in basketball, and then for just a flicker there, it looked like the Broncos were going to have the recovery.
Somebody fell on Elvis Dumerville's right hand or arm.
Miller was trying to pick it up and never had a full handle on it. So no turnover, and Nortman comes in to punt for the 3rd time here in the first quarter.
Remember, big guys fall on it, small guys pick it up. Small guys are usually where? On the fringe. When you have a chance. Too many bodies in there.
First quarter runs out before the snap. Tied at 7 after 1. We'll return to Charlotte in just a moment. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Back here for the start of the second quarter. Jim Nantz alongside Phil Simms. A Cam Newton touchdown pass for Carolina, then matched by a Peyton Manning touchdown toss for Denver. 7-7, and Nortman punts to get the second quarter started. Down to Holiday, fields it at the 24. And again, he's so dangerous, taking off. Tiptoeing down the sideline, they do not rule him out. He's taking it all the way. A kick return last week, a punt return today. 76 yards and a touchdown.
What a pickup by the Broncos. This guy, nothing like that. Watch Holiday here looking and waiting to set up the blocks. And how about the blocks down the right side? And of course his speed, Jim. Instant speed. As soon as he takes off, he's at full speed and it makes it work.
Boy, you can't believe Nortman could not just shove him out of bounds. And he never did step out.
No. Well, he's so fast, hard to ask the punter to get his hands on him and knock him out.
Boy, it makes you wonder how in the world the Texans cut him.
Yeah, I'm still wondering.
A month ago. The Broncos got a look at Holiday week 3 when Houston was at Denver. Prater makes it 14-7. How about it 1 week ago? The longest play in Bronco history, his 105-yard kick return. Today, 76 yards and a punt return touchdown by Trenton Holiday. The return is official, but watch this. Watch when Holiday lets go of the football.
Absolutely. Football goes into the end zone, goes out, and that would have been a touchback. Carolina's ball.
On the 20. Got away with an absolute careless mistake.
Well, you hear the old saying, learn the hard way. He's going to learn the lucky way. That, of course, we didn't see it live, and the extra point happened quick. They were checking to make sure that he stayed in bounds as he ran down the sideline. He did.
That's all. Again, they have to verify the touchdown. I'm sure that's all they were looking at was, were the feet still in? And I still don't understand how the punter just whiffed. Just put a hand on him. He could have shoved him out of bounds. So after 2 touchdowns in a minute and 52 seconds, now the Broncos. Back comes Carolina with D'Angelo Williams for no gain.
Yeah, Derek Wolfe, rookie defensive lineman from the University of Cincinnati. John Fox talks about him. He's a good run stopper, brings some toughness to the defensive line. Of course, he's a big guy, and you can't get enough big guys up front when you're trying to be a run defense to stop it.
Dumerville has the helmet on, but still sitting out after getting shaken up on the last defensive series. 2nd down and 10 with pressure. Newton able to get it away and over the head of Steve Smith. It's update time. Let's go back to JB in New York.
Brees trying single-handedly, Dan.
Oh, yeah. Drew Brees to Jimmy Graham, extending his own record of 52 straight games with a touchdown pass, 14-0 or 14-10 New Orleans.
That was an 11-play, 90-yard drive. Back to Jim Nantz. Phil Simms.
So down 10-0 early. The Saints now have taken the lead over undefeated Atlanta.
Steve Smith, a little frustrated on the outside. That time had a step on Chris Harris. Cam Newton just threw it too far. Didn't give him a chance to catch the football.
3rd and 10, and Dumerville's back in there. The great pass rusher. And they got to Newton. But it was Von Miller who was hitting the quarterback at the point of release. He's now missed his last 5 throws after going 6 for 6 at the start.
It's an overload blitz coming from Cam Newton's right side, and they just push it back there. Carolina worries about it. Will they get overpowered inside? That's what they're trying to do. It took a long time for the route to come open down the field.
Back to Nortman. And another chance to watch the thrilling escapades of Trenton Holiday.
Could kick this one out of bounds.
Going to back up the Panthers.
False
5.
start, number 22, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
That return by Holiday gives the Broncos now 10 non-offensive touchdowns in Coach Fox's year and a half there.
Wow. Well, that's how you do it, Jim. You know, it's like you always, who can be the team that can win a lot of games, a team that can win a lot of different ways. And the Broncos are showing that so far this year.
Holiday's the 38. And wrestled down by the second man. Barnage was there to bring it to an end after a 47-yard punt, but Denver now has the lead at 14-7. The West leading Broncos with a 3-game win streak, trying to win for the second consecutive week on the road after a victory at Cincinnati last Sunday. Gahey on the draw. And that's a 7-yard run. That was, in many ways, not that appreciated by a lot of folks across the country, what they did last week against the Bengals. They were taking on a team that was in the playoffs a year ago, a team coming off a bye, a team that was desperate. And I think even Peyton felt like they didn't get a lot of credit for that victory.
Well, I knew they were walking into a tough spot. The Bengals played energized, and they were as tough as I've seen them all year long. And it took the Broncos best to win the game.
And the Giants are finding that out now. Here's the toss to the 40-yard line to Thomas and a first down.
Well, we saw talk so much about the slow starts for the Denver Broncos. They didn't get that touchdown in the first quarter. They just have so many what I call core plays, Jim. Plays that they run every single week. Formations that you see all the time, but there's always 5 or 6 different options out of every formation. That's what confuses the defense.
First down, and Manning goes gun. And again able to get away from pressure. Toss down to Silent. What a catch. That was McGahey. And a flag thrown in to boot.
Well, did McGahey go out of bounds and become the first person to touch the football? Well, we got a lot of hatless officials, so that's usually not a good sign for the receiver. Or unless they're just trying to get a tan and look good.
This is kind of a day you could do just that.
You saying I can look good?
Illegal touching of the football. Number 23 in the offense. Stepped out of bounds, came back in, and was the first to touch the football. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Watch number 23 as he comes out, goes down the sideline. How about Peyton Manning, though? That was really quick by him and a good job. Left foot is out of bounds. If you're forced out illegally, then come back in and you're the first guy to touch it, it would be a catch. But nobody illegally pushed McGahey out of bounds.
I saw what you saw, though, with Peyton getting away from the pressure. Has not been sacked in his last 128 dropbacks.
Well, when you're not a great runner, you become great at moving around the pocket. That's Peyton Manning.
Manning to Thomas. And the defense closes in on him. That's good running back. He's actually flanking Peyton here out of the shotgun on 2nd and 12 or 13. And here is Hillman. Hillman, the youngest player in the NFL, gets it down to about the 36. Goes for 7.
Good open field by Thomas Davis. Tackle by him, I should say. And this Carolina defense, they know if you drop back and try to stop the big pass play, Peyton Manning doesn't hesitate. Throws it short, then you got to make the tackle.
Hillman turned just 21 only a few weeks ago. 3rd down here for the Broncos. 3rd and 6. Thomas, perfectly played that time by Martin, Sherrod Martin. Able to close on him right away and hold him to only a yard. 4th down coming up.
Yeah, they're expecting man coverage, trying to get up here and tackle before it gets here. This could be Martin back here. How fast is he? He reads it. Oh, he's pretty quick. That's what you have to do against this screen game.
They're going to bring out Prater, who is fabulous in his career from beyond 50. He's made 14 out of 18 from 50 plus. This will be a 53-yard attempt. And Prater's kick. Dead center with plenty to spare. How about that? 15 out of 19 in your career from 50 plus. Amazing.
He kicks it a long way, even away from Denver.
That's right. Giving them 17 points now for Denver in the last 6 minutes of action. $17 unanswered on top of that after Cam Newton put together an impressive drive, their second series of the day. Edwards running it out. The former Appalachian State quarterback is decked at the 22 games. Atlanta and New Orleans going after it today. Saints trying to salvage a season and hand Atlanta its first loss. And a wild one to start there. There's a little toss to Smith on the end around. And Chris Harris wasn't fooled. Goes for only a gain of 2.
Well, you got to get number 89 involved. That's what they're trying to do. They try to screen to him. Couldn't get it there, so give him a reverse. Nice fake. Cam Newton likes to run.
Jimmy Kimmons, our cameraman.
And you know what he did after he got hit? Jimmy Kimmons, he got up and went, man, that felt good.
Yeah, there he is.
You know I'm not lying either. He loved. He said, that's good. I wish I could get that at least once a game.
It was all smiles. You're not kidding. Oh, he gave up on the camera.
Oh, well, I changed everything.
Give up on the equipment. 2nd and 8.
I'm seeing the same thing from this defense that I saw last week. We talked about it, Jim. They play fast. They are hungry. Jack Del Rio, defensive coordinator, even when they were making a lot of mistakes early in the year, he didn't pull back. He kept putting in all the defenses. He wanted them. He said to me, nope, I teach them to be aggressive. We'll learn, and they have learned. Not making the mistakes, just making plays.
He was here back in 2002 as a defensive coordinator for 1 year. And then went on to become the Jacksonville coach the next season. He had the 2nd-ranked defense in the league that 1 year he was here. 3rd down play coming up. 3rd and 8. Wide open, and Murphy with a flag down. Louis Murphy, the former Raider, has it to the Denver side of the field. But it looks like it's going against the Panthers.
They're going to call it against 88.
Pass interference, number 83 in the offense. 10-yard penalty, replay 3rd down.
They call it on Murphy, the receiver.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was going to be Greg Olsen. Murphy, well, that's pretty tough going against Champ Bailey. They both reach out, contact within 5 yards. But that's what they see. And you know what? When you see it full time, real speed right in front of the official, they're going to make the call. That was a big play. Well, that hurt this Carolina offense, of course.
Boy, they needed that one. It would have been, again, on the Broncos side of the field. Here it is again.
Yep, there you go. When you see it roll fast, you can see the arms go out by the receiver. That's why they called it.
Instead, all the way back at the 14. 3rd and 18. Here is Olsen. And the Broncos give it up underneath for just a few yards. It'll be 4th down coming up.
That's a good check down by Cam Newton. Get a few extra yards, play field position.
And for Carolina now, 4 consecutive drives, 3 plays and a punt. Holiday back to return. And as we discovered, he fumbled that football on that scoring return before he crossed the goal line, and it went through the back of the end zone. Got a fair catch this time at the 29. 49-yard boot. Broncos up 10 here, halfway through the 2nd quarter. Center here in Charlotte, situated on over 400 acres of woodlands, home to the world's largest man-made whitewater river, and home of the U.S. Olympic training grounds. Peyton and the Broncos from the 29. Staying low, and as McGahee picking up 6, which you'll take every time on 1st down.
Of course you will. It's the center, Dan Copen, the left guard, Zane Beadles. They get a double team. Willis McGahee, what did he say to us last night? 1, he's in great shape. Ready to take the punishment, likes to do the work. inside the tackles. That's who he is now.
He's gone over 8,000 yards on his career in this quarter. Accomplishing that the last series. This time, nothing to be found. McGahee, quite an interesting find when you think about it. Of course, had that devastating injury his senior year in Miami. Still drafted first round by Buffalo and had some good seasons up there. Went to Baltimore at about the same time Ray Rice was coming on board. He was his backup.
Right.
You might have thought his career was over, only to see it be rekindled out in Denver.
You're right. He said that to us, didn't he, last night or yesterday, that he said, well, maybe it's over. But he didn't give up. He found the right spot for his running style. And the big thing is just taking care of himself, giving him more chances to get it done.
It's 3rd and 5. And that's Thomas with a first down and a whole lot more. So he gets walloped near the 50. He was running away from Josh Thomas. And that's now already the 5th catch for Demarius. Peyton
Manning said it last night. He goes, hey, my protection last week was awesome. I don't know if he said awesome. He might have said great. It was great. And today it's very good, too. He gets rid of the football. He knows how to work it in the pocket. And he always has a receiver if he gets in trouble. That time, Demarius Thomas, get rid of it quick.
First 3rd down conversion of the game for either side. And here's a throw over to McGahee. And another good gain on first down.
Boy, I'd hate to be a defensive lineman. That time, Greg Hardy, left defensive end, is in on the quarterback immediately. And he looks up. Not only is Peyton Manning get rid of it. Here he comes. Hardy gets a hit, but he gets a completed pass, too.
Matthew Willis is in at receiver for the 2nd straight play. Thomas went out after the 15-yard catch. Hillman met right away by Kuechly. This kid, Kuechly, 15 tackles a week ago. He's just 21 years old, and he left a year early from Boston College. And in many ways, as he told us, this is like already now longer than any season he's ever played football. His college year would have been over if you factor 4 preseason games, 8 regular season games.
Of course, all of his friends, he goes, like all my friends, they're still in college for another year or 2. But nice read, really good job of reacting quickly.
3rd and 2. And McGahee will have the first down as Manning is now 13 out of 14 on the game.
Well, they got all the answers. That time they've shown them so many different formations and plays. This time, McGahee in the flat. Peyton Manning sees the defense retreat just a little. That's all he needed. Gets rid of it fast.
And that goes for 9 and a first at the 34. With Thomas back in the game, Manning's going to take off and slide.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was a weird slide, and he's holding that knee. Kind of got a cleat stuck or something.
Well, he could have got his cleat stuck or the brace that's on his left knee. When you slide, you got to get those feet up.
It looked awkward for a second, though, didn't it?
It was. Well, he just kind of slid and he stuck into the ground. He got his feet up, Jim. It was that brace that did it.
All right, he walked away without any issues. No gimp. 6-yard gain. Throw over to Willis. Trying to find an opening with Thomas out in front of him. Throwing a block. It's good for only 2. So 3rd and 2 coming up.
You watching the play. Matt Willis is going to the sideline. He goes, boy, he just got chewed out because of the situation and not catching it and going up the field. Peyton Manning let him know the situation. Do what you're supposed to do.
Holiday has come in for a snap. He's in the slot to the right. Now in motion. They fake to Holiday, and they go instead to Hillman, who cuts back middle, fighting for that first. It'll depend on the spot. Ooh, they back him all the way up. That was a very interesting spot right there.
Well, of course, you can challenge the spot, Jim. And John Fox not even hesitating. Looks like he's got it in his hands. They fake the run one way.
And the yellow line is not official, but
yeah, I would. Let's see how short they marked it.
where I thought the forward progress was at about the 24-yard line and marked it on the 25 instead. It's 4th down and they're going to go ahead. Still no challenge flag. Approaching the 2-minute warning. We'll have more time to look at it upstairs. And there you go, 2-minute warning. You're watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 47. Some discussions with Coach Fox and the officials, but he still has not thrown the challenge flag.
Clearly, McGahee inside the 25-yard line. How about that? That is so close to a first down. And they would remark it if he challenges it. I'm sorry, it was Hillman that was running the football. You would lose the challenge, but you would get a remarking of the football. Then you can go for it on 4th. John Fox says no, he'll take the field goal.
He'll take Prater from 43, who's already nailed it from 53 into the center of the net. And Prater, this time look out right. No good. Prater's first miss of the year. And it leaves Coach Fox just shaking his head. He was 11 for 11. But here on 11-11, unable to make it.
Look at that football curve as it was in the air. What a shot from underneath.
What do you think John Fox is thinking?
Yeah, like we all do. Well, you can't believe it. He makes the decision that he kind of lives by. He's a conservative decision maker as a head coach, so he thinks he's taking the sure points. So whatever he's thinking, we can't put it on the air.
Phil Dawson of Cleveland, the only kicker now in the league without a miss on the year. See if the Panthers can do something in the final 2 minutes. They've got a target here with Smith, his first catch of the game, and he takes it near the 50. Wrestled down by Champ Bailey, and a gain of 18.
They've called that play a couple times. It has been open in the middle of the field by Steve Smith. Cam Newton has not had time to get it to him.
They've got all 3 timeouts to work with. From the 49, they set up screen. It's Stewart. Stewart with blockers in front. And Jonathan Stewart has another big gainer here for the Panthers. Give him 19.
I love this. The screen game being very good to the Carolina Panthers. Look at the defense retreat. Everybody up the field wanting to get a shot at Cam Newton. And that is some good blocking down the field by the offensive lineman.
The Panthers scored first. Can they score last here in the first half? A minute to go. And batted away. Trevathan coming in and denying the pass into Greg Olsen. Don't forget the Verizon halftime report is coming up with JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, Coach Cowher. All the scores and highlights will take you around the league. Coming up on the Verizon halftime report.
Trevathan, you talked about him, number 59. He shows up everywhere. Good coverage linebacker. When you bring in these extra defensive backs and linebackers in passing situations.
Dumerville has not been in on this series for that Denver defense. 2nd and 10. And Newton throws it away. He was hit after he threw it. And he's a little shaky getting up. He was hit by Robert Ayers. And Ernrein was in there too.
He gets twisted up, Jim, as he throws it. Throws the football away. Good job.
We're hearing shoulder injury for Dumerville, questionable to return. And the Panthers have called a timeout with 54 seconds to go in the first half, and Newton needs a little time here. Stretching out and trying to gather himself here.
A couple plays ago. Oh boy, Jim, how about that shot?
Right in the, yeah.
Hits the center.
The thumb hit the helmet of Handgardner.
He had some problems with it last week too.
3rd down and 10. They have not converted all day on 3rd down. taking off and running with it. Oh, and trying to make the cut. Lost his footing, and Raheem Moore holds it to a 4-yard gain.
Well, the one thing we've noticed so far today, this defense, when Cam Newton decides to run, we have seen they are fast enough to make the tackles.
This timeout's called by the Broncos.
Good timeout.
4th down coming up, and it's going to be a Medlock field goal attempt coming up from about 43 yards, and this will leave Peyton and the Broncos a little time to do something, and we'll be doing something at halftime with the Verizon halftime report. JB will take you around the league. All the scores and highlights coming up. It's been interesting seeing some of the fast starts today around the league. Tennessee, after getting crushed last week, putting up a performance down at Miami. Cincinnati over the Giants. All that coming up on the Verizon halftime report. We just saw a miss by the Broncos kicker, Prater from 43. Here's Medlock, Justin Medlock with the Panthers. And he can't convert either. Could have made it a one-score game right there.
He could have. Pushes it. Doesn't swing through it as hard as he can. So that's why the football goes a little bit to the left. John Fox called the timeout. Why did he call it? Hey, to give Holiday maybe one more chance on a return. But if nothing else, look what you do. You give your offense an opportunity with Peyton Manning to put points on the board.
Yeah, you play the percentage. If there's a miss, you get the football at the spot of the attempt. That was only the second attempt all year at home for Medlock.
It's amazing.
So the Broncos with 2 timeouts from the 33. And Peyton rifles it over to Decker, who bounces out at the 46. A gain of 13 to stop the clock at 34 seconds. It's been some stretch for Eric Decker here the last month. Touchdowns in the last 5 games.
And Peyton Manning say he's bigger, faster, and stronger than people realize.
Down the middle and incomplete. He was looking for Stokely, and it draws a flag. Captain Munnerlyn on the coverage.
Holding number 41 defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
You got to be aggressive against these inside receivers. Stokely, right in the middle of your screen. Nice release by Stokely. There's the hold when he grabbed his arm. Ron Rivera told us, Jim, right, that Captain Munnerlyn is one of the best he's ever seen.
Yep.
At covering that inside receiver.
He said, I haven't seen any guy in all the years in the league cover the slot like he has. From the 49. Manning's throw, and it's incomplete. That ends a streak. He had hit his last 13 passes. He was going to Tammy on that occasion.
I mean, that's confusing if you're trying to cover. Watch. You think he's going to go up the field, seam it, keep moving, then he breaks it out the last second. Peyton Manning had pressure inside. That's why the football was short.
Now with 24 seconds to go. Under heavy pressure, and that ball is caught. They're going to rule it a catch on the field. That was Stokely. Now they've come in and say, on second thought, incomplete.
Again, it takes a long time for the play to develop.
I'm not so sure.
That will be reviewed inside of 2 minutes.
How about that? Decker was trying to make a play on it. Went over his head, maybe even got a fingertip on it. And then Stokely dives. And again, we're inside of 2 minutes. That one right there looked more like a one-hopper. And first, before the snap, there's a timeout called by the Broncos.
There is no timeout charge on the play. Prior to Denver calling timeout, the booth buzz. Therefore, we will review the previous play.
Well, they save Denver's second timeout. And Al Riveron's going to go take a look at Stokely's attempt to pluck it before it touched the ground.
Hard to tell by the shot. I'm just going to react to the football. The football, Jim, does it pop up? Boy, One time I think it does. I see that replay that time, and I said, nope, could be a catch.
Well, here's the problem. Again, the call on the field was incomplete, although initially one official had it as a catch. But in the end, ruled incomplete. Again, there's got to be the visual evidence to overturn the ruling on the field incomplete.
Well, a word that I'd never use in my life, inconclusive or unabated, all those things, but that's what you hear. It's got to be conclusive. And we'll put it to you, Mr. Nantz, and that's going to be incomplete.
I believe it is.
That was a tremendous shot there that shows the football hits the ground and then pops up. That's what I was looking for, that movement.
There's not a whole lot of movement, though.
That little repelling there. That's the shot. Is that the one that you might think it's incomplete?
You think back to last March, again, Stokely and his wife were about to celebrate their 10-year anniversary when Brandon got a phone call from Peyton and said, hey, I need your help. I need somebody to come out to North Carolina at Duke University and work with me a little bit. So Peyton, to try to sweeten the deal, got Stokely tickets
to Duke
from Coach K for the Duke North Carolina basketball game.
What Stokely say? I didn't go to work out with Peyton. I went there because I wanted to watch a game. He loves Duke, Mike Krzyzewski.
So Lana was understanding, and Stokely ended up getting his career extended because of it.
The ruling on the field stands. It is an incomplete pass. Third down.
Of course, Peyton was staying with his old coordinator from the University of Tennessee, David Cutcliffe.
That's right. Said it was like being in college again, didn't he?
Yep.
Going to work, getting in the car with David Cutcliffe, going, working out. And as David Cutcliffe had said, and Tom Moore, the old offensive coordinator, said to Stokely, you should keep playing. You still can do it.
He's already caught a touchdown here today. Tom Moore's in the building. Need about 10 yards to get in field goal range. Manning fires it and batted away at the last moment. Thomas had his hands on it. And Josh Norman. And look out, Thomas is in pain.
Top of the screen is Demaryius Thomas. Fakes like he's going deep, drives back to the football. Oh, he gets his right leg caught under him, Jim. That's what it looked like.
You know, those who watched the game last week against Cincinnati will remember that Thomas last week, after a catch and a tackle, looked like he was...
Rule, an injury under 2 minutes will require a charge timeout. Therefore, Denver only has 1 timeout left.
So they'll charge him a timeout as they tend to Thomas, but it looked like he might have been hurt last week and was able to come back into the game.
I hope he's okay. I look at this right here, and you see that Denver has 1 timeout. I would be tempted to run one more play and try to get the first down and use my last timeout and try a long field goal. If it's incomplete, you're going to give 1 to 2, at most 3 seconds to Cam Newton to throw one into your end zone. So you got to weigh that situation and decide what you want to risk. I'd give him another chance. That's a big thing here at Demaryius Thomas.
It truly is such a big part of what they do here. And he's grown so much. We've seen it this season under the tutelage of Peyton Manning and the rest of the staff, McCoy and Coach Fox.
He's got the talent. Now he's learning the techniques to give him a chance to be great. And he could be great if it all comes, all folds in together.
Colquitt now with 9 seconds to go. They'll just decide to punt it here on 4th down.
Why catch it? Oh, he does it. Good job.
And the ball is down by Bruton of the Broncos. And time expires here in the first half of action. That's the end of the first half with the Broncos leading at 17-7. Verizon halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL. Well, the Broncos lead it. There's Cam Newton. He was a little late getting back out here for the start of the second half. Got shaken up a bit at the end of the second quarter. We saw Demarius Thomas injury also, though he walked to the locker room. We'll wait for a report on that. What do you see here in this game so far?
Well, I think the Denver Broncos have done so many things so well. Peyton Manning, once again, not being sacked. They haven't had any turnovers. Penalties are down. He's completing most of the passes. So I look at Carolina. Good job by them just hanging into this game.
Peyton's thrown only 4 incompletions. Broncos have been penalized only once. They did not give the football away. They did not allow, again, Manning to be sacked. Working on a 4th straight game without the quarterback hitting the ground. And they deferred again that opening coin toss, so the Broncos will have the football to begin the second half. And there is Trendon Holiday with the AFC Special Teams Player of the Week this past week, and who knows, could be a repeat honoree. Medlock's kick drilled into the end zone and a touchback. Peyton 80% in that first half, 135 and the touchdown to Stokely. Cam Newton 127 yards to the touchdown throw to Olsen. And how about this? Demarius Thomas is in the huddle.
I'll be dang. You and I were just talking about it, going, what a big blow to this offense if Demarius Thomas was hurt and not able to continue, you know, maybe for a couple weeks.
McGahee was looking to cut back, but that was closed down also. Only a yard for Willis.
I think one of the things this offense, the Denver offense, has to worry about is making sure they stay with trying to run the football. Keep the offensive linemen, keep them aggressive, tough, and don't let Willis McGahee get out of the rhythm of running the football in game situations.
And second down and 9. Nice move by McGahee. Slashes back middle. He's within 3 of a first. Third down coming up.
Pretty good move by Willis McGahee. He said between the tackles and catching some swing passes. And this is what you call a swing pass. Just bow it out to the left, make a guy miss, get some extra yards. Maybe it's because of his new training, Jim. You know, he's did some MMA training. I don't know if you're into that, but
I may have to keep up with you. Hey, he changed his whole workout down in Florida this year, and here comes Manning on third down, and he was definitely influenced with the heavy pressure, that pass.
Well, I think you're right. The pressure on Peyton Manning by Hardy, 76, to the right of your screen. He felt him, made him rush the pass, a little off target.
Broncos are the best in the league at punt coverage. And it's Munnerlyn fielding it with a fair catch at the 33. There's a flag back at the line of scrimmage after the 41-yard boot.
I think one of the reasons why they're a good cover team, did you see how high that kick was by Colquitt? Give those runners that extra half a second to get there, and that is the difference.
Now he's got a big-time leg, does Britton Colquitt. 3rd in the NFL in net average.
From the end of the kick, first down.
Well, that will bring the football back inside the 25. There it is. That's what you were talking about. Hardy influencing that throw.
Copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Getting set for Carolina's first possession of the second half. We sent along our best wishes to our field technical manager, Pete Palander, a little under the weather this week, and the whole crew thinking about you. Pete, we look forward to coming back next week. For the 7th time in 8 drives, Carolina begins inside its own 25, and that's Stewart for 6. You said during the break, this was an important series coming up for the Panthers.
Yeah, I think it is, just to get some momentum back on their side, some confidence. Cam Newton missing some passes with pressure, and really get the try to get the Broncos defense off balance. They did it early, throwing the ball, running it, the screen game.
You saw Dumerville on the sideline without his pads on, so not going to see him the rest of the day, injured in that first half of shoulder. And they run it again with Stewart. It's time for 2. Robert Ayers, who's going to see more time out there with Dumerville out, makes the tackle.
And you know, of course, always, and you're the Panthers offense. You want to get rhythm. Don't be in a hurry. Always remember, when Cam Newton's on the field, where's Peyton Manning? He's over there watching. So that's a big deal. Even though the Panthers defense has done a good job today, only giving up 10 points.
They have not converted once today on 3rd down. They need to end that streak here. They need to pick up 2. They're not going to do it as he gets taken down by Vickerson. Swings down the quarterback.
This is not the offensive line's fault, because you see Cam Newton, it's a 3-step drop. The football is supposed to be thrown quickly. It's not, and Kevin Vickerson just keeps hustling, gets pressure from the inside. The Broncos thought they could do that today, and Kevin Vickerson, every time we do a game, Jim, he makes more and more plays.
Yes, he does in his 7th year, but that's his first sack. They don't ask him to do that all that often. That was impressive. Nortman to the dangerous Holiday. And just a short return this time. 45-yard punt. Vickerson ends that series 3 and out. Here for this interconference matchup. The NFC's had the better of it this year in the matchups against the AFC. 23 wins and only 13 losses. The AFC has the edge in this one by 10. As Manning throws, there's Thomas. On 2nd and 2, the call on McGahee to pick up the first. And he's able to do so out to the 49 and a gain of 3. McGahee's had an active day catching the ball out of the backfield. He's run it 10 times for 30 yards. He's caught 4 balls. Hillman comes in for him on this occasion. First down again at the 49.
We're good.
Manning sidesteps the pressure. Lost it to Stokely. And Stokely has a pickup of about 22 yards just inside the 30.
Boy, Peyton Manning's feet are on fire today, and it is really good pocket movement. Nice play action fake. Pops up in there. Brandon Stokely coming across the field, and nice touch.
And Matthew Willis comes into the game in a slot to the left. New set of downs for Denver. Manning this time cannot get away. The ball's out. Fallen on by Franklin, I believe, and then he lost it. It was Charles Johnson who hit Peyton and jarred the ball loose. And it's going to Carolina. Hardy has the recovery. The 2 ends make the play. First it was Johnson on the quarterback hit.
It's a bone protection by the Broncos offensive line. Nobody blocks the best pass rusher on the Panther defense, Charles Johnson. And then it looks like, you said it, Orlando Franklin falls on the football, but that football is amazing. I tried to recover many of my own fumbles, and you fall right on it. It just gets away from you.
Yeah, it did. I can't believe it was able to get away from the big-bodied right tackle, but it somehow scooted loose again, and that's the first time Peyton's been sacked in his last 145 pass plays, and it was a big one.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but the fact that Orlando Franklin didn't fan out or move out to his right and block Charles Johnson, there had to be a mistake by somebody on Denver's offense.
Let's see if Carolina can take advantage. Reversing field, and he got it away just in time, and he's intercepted. Intercepted by Tony Carter, who's taking it in for the touchdown. Von Miller caused it. He came crashing in on Newton at the last minute, who tried to save the sack. And instead, he got intercepted by Carter for a pick six.
Speed of the defense. Here he comes from the outside. Cam Newton reverses field, but still cannot get away. And Tony Carter is one of the new heroes of this Broncos defense. Jack Del Rio called him Sticky Man because he can mirror receivers down the field. How about that break on the football?
40-yard return, and watch him explode down that sideline. Been getting more action as Tracy Porter's been missing time. And now the Broncos 3 touchdowns, 1 by the offense, 1 by the special teams, and this one by the defense. Turn of events after the Carolina defense forced the takeaway, the fumble recovery. Newton is intercepted, and it's returned for the touchdown.
Bronco defense, like last week, Jim, you and I have talked about it. We talked about it during the week. They were like the unsung hero. People didn't pay attention. Today, they're the heroes.
Ball's on the ground. Edwards picks it up at the 6. And he's going nowhere. Irving was down there quickly. Cam Newton, he's known for this, the Superman move. But the Broncos are throwing it right back in his face.
Oh, yeah. You make a move in the NFL, you got to be ready for it to come back at you. We saw that a little bit with whatever the championship belt by Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. Anytime somebody sacked him or something, they did it, and you're going to see it every time Cam Newton at quarterback. They make the play against this Carolina offense.
And they start in a hole here at the 11. Dump it over to Stewart. Makes a nice shifting move to pick up the first down. He's still on his feet. Jonathan Stewart with a flag down. Will maybe go all the way. No, he's going to get cut off on the angle by Bailey. There's a flag down all the way back at the 10-yard line. So will it be a 62-yard play? No, it's coming back, says Coach Fox.
Right at the line of scrimmage.
Holding, number 69, offense, half the distance of the goal. It will remain first down.
It was close. 69, Jordan Gross, left tackle. Oh, I thought the holding was right there. The hit in the back. I didn't even think it was going to be at the line of scrimmage. Well, they might have. Maybe it's the wrong call. That's the one I thought.
Might have been on 61
yes,
instead of 69, because I sure didn't see it with Gross.
Yeah, I think it was 61, the left guard pulling out.
Carolina best in the NFL when it comes to yards gained on average per play on first down. But a 62-yarder is taken away. And on this occasion, Williams is hit by Miller, who celebrates right next to him.
You know, Von Miller, how many times have you said that name today? 58. Just fights through. He can beat you to the outside, and you're worried about that speed all the time, and then he just runs you over. And again, as soon as he walked in the room last night, and you and I were talking to him, walked in, I go, wow, he is noticeably a bigger person this year. Because, yeah, I might get tired a little faster, but he notices the strength in his play, and we've noticed it today.
Second down and 20. Denver's defense, the second best in the league on stopping teams on first down, limiting them. There's a catch by LaFell, and he scoots near the first down. Brandon LaFell for 21, and that will move the chains.
Good job by Cam Newton staying in there. Chris Harris, that time beaten to the inside, can't catch up. I'd like to play quarterback. All you see is a big mess. And people want to know why I threw so many interceptions.
You're still getting questions about that, huh?
Oh, sure. Hey, you know, I tell them all the time. I said, if you only knew how many times I threw a pass and go, they caught it? I didn't know if I saw them. It happened so fast. That's why you really, Jim, you got to be careful how you judge it, even as a commentator.
On first down. And again, they're in on Newton. They rule it incomplete. It's Robert Ayers, who you have been noticing in the film room, is making more and more plays by the week.
He sure is. 91 coming from the outside, taking advantage of that extra playing time. Well, that's a nice job. Does it with speed. Robert Ayers has just he's another one. He's kind of grown into this NFL body. He made a decision. He's going to become a player. Wasn't good for him early in the year, but he has fought his way through practice and what he's done in game day and getting more reps and taking advantage of it.
And again, getting more reps today with Dumerville out with that first half shoulder injury. Ayers, the former first-round pick out of Tennessee. Second and 10, and Newton somehow gets his balance before Woodyard. There's going to be a flag here. Woodyard and Vickerson were the two Broncos right on him. He escaped Chris Harris at first.
The thing we're noticing, though, Jim, he escapes, but there's nowhere to go. They recover so fast.
Personal foul. Horse collar tackle. Defense number 91. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
And again, I think this is a case of the wrong number. I think it's 99. It wasn't Ayers, it was Vickerson.
Blitz from the outside by Chris Harris. Panthers weren't ready for it. You're right. Jersey, top of the shoulder pads. Pull them backward or to the side.
Yeah, that looks like a horse collar for sure.
Yeah, and what I was impressed with, Kevin Vickerson, how about that? Running to the sideline, catching Cam Newton.
First down to Williams. Into the heart of the whole Bronco front for no gain. Update, JB, what about the Giants today at Cincinnati? Game at 3-5 on the season, and the Giants, we were there with them last week against Pittsburgh, a game they should have won. It's the time of year where they usually have a little bumpy road. First down, the pass goes through the hands. Steve Smith.
Well, this is where, I'll tell you later.
Well, we got another update. So Breeze has it going at home today. They're trying to inch their way back into it. If they could win today, they'd be 4-5. But here it is, 3rd and 10. Can you see it? They're 0 for 7. Third down conversions for the Panthers. More pressure and nowhere to hide. And again, they bring down Newton. Harris is in there first. Woodyard later. Miller throwing pressure at him too.
Yeah, Von Miller makes him step up. He gets to the outside, and once Cam Newton steps up, all the other offensive linemen are going to lose their blocking assignments. Coverage down the field. How is it? Outstanding. That is the big thing in this game today. We talked about, could you get away from good man-to-man coverage? The Broncos can run with receivers, and the answer is overall, no.
That's the 5th time they have sacked Newton, which ties the most he's ever been decked. Now his 2nd year in the league, straight up the middle, Holiday to the 49. 41-yard punt, 21-yard run back, and the Broncos 24 unanswered. Storm Sandy, text Red Cross to 90999 to make a $10 donation to the American Red Cross Disaster Relief Fund. CBS Cares. So the Broncos defense has sacked Cam Newton 5 times. Meanwhile, the Panthers defense has allowed 1 offensive touchdown.
They're doing their job, no doubt about it.
Holiday is in the backfield with Peyton. We haven't seen that many times, and here's his first catch. And Holiday gets hit out of bounds. And again, there's Jimmy Kimmons, who is taking his lumps today. This goes for 15 yards.
Holiday in the backfield, what do you do, Jim? It's a big red flag. There's a reason why he's back there. He's not back there to block anybody, and you said it. He could cover ground fast.
The 37. They go right back to him. And he still isn't down. He's got players down low on his back. Anderson and Norman. Now, remember in the first half, we got a little bit on our esteemed colleague Jimmy Kimmons for just dropping the camera. This time, though, he hung in there.
Oh, good balance, too. Puts that left hand down.
Yeah. He's up for comeback player of the week. 2nd down and 8. McGahee falls out. McGahee fumbles, and the Panthers have a recovery. It was Hardy causing his 2nd forced fumble of the day, and is recovered by Charles Godfrey. Ball goes back to Carolina.
Well, Greg Hardy makes the hit right across the helmet, and then Godfrey comes in and hits Willis McGahee again. That's why he had a hard time getting up and getting off the field. But the Panthers defense, they are hustling, playing well.
D'Angelo Williams. Gain of 4. You can get coverage of every NFL game with NFL Mobile. While on the go, watch live streaming of every touchdown from every game. Thursday, Sunday, Monday night games, NFL Network 24/7 coverage. Call ** NFL to download or go to NFL.com/mobile. McGahee was slow to get up. He got walloped a couple of times from that play where he fumbled. 2 giveaways in a 4-play sequence overall for Denver. And that's Olsen. Look at all the helmets in on that one.
Wow, you said it. I didn't have to say. They got the fever on defense.
Greg Olsen, who scored the only touchdown in this game. It's been such a trying autumn for Greg and his family. There's Jerry Richardson, who came to the Olsen's family side as they went through some difficult times, the delivery of their twin children just a month ago. The little boy, TJ, needing some special attention and care in a surgery procedure in Boston. This is absolutely a knockdown by Von Miller. And again, the Panthers can't pick up a 1st down on a 3rd down situation.
No, they can't. Von Miller, you talked about it early in the game. Him and Cam Newton together during the offseason. This is just a flush. Hit maybe the biggest quarterback in the NFL and stopping him dead in his tracks.
6 times today, Phil, they've had the ball, 3 plays and a punt.
Well, Von Miller has been maybe the best game I've ever seen him play. That is the best game I've ever seen in person him play.
Yeah, he has been in so many times. Zinn on the tackle after the 47-yard punt. Just to finish that story, we met with Greg Olsen. You've known Greg and his family for a long time, but really it's a beautiful, happy ending here. The story of Olsen and the family. In the family. There's their 17-month-old Tate in the picture, wife Kara, and little Talbot and TJ. The little boy was born with a congenital heart defect and finally able to come home after spending a month at the hospital after being born. And they named TJ. The J is for Jerry, for Mr. Richardson, who
great story,
was with them through all of that. 1st and 10. With McGahee's sideline after that last fumble and hit that had him hobbling. It's Hillman for 2.
I think just to go back to Greg Olsen too, you know, I've known their family a long time, Jim, but he said he'd only been here a while, and you know, he hasn't been here like for years. And for Mr. Richardson to show him that kind of support and help him out, just, you know, that's why they named their son TJ.
2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Only points in the 2nd half coming on a Tony Carter interception return. And that's a grab by Stokely. Will be good for the 1st down. Picks up 10.
They love this play. Receiver comes under. Stokely goes out. Peyton Manning reads it differently this time. Says, okay, you want to be aggressive? I'll throw it over the top. He does.
Peyton with 199 yards passing. 22 of 27. One over 200 right here. And again, it's Stokely who's having a nice afternoon, including a touchdown catch. 4 catches now for Brandon.
I think we said it a few times ago, Jim, when we did a Denver Broncos game. Peyton Manning really, you know, I'm not saying they're worried about and going to spy him on the defensive side, but the movement give himself a little extra time, and he's been throwing the ball very, very well when he's moving.
Is it just me, or the movement even looks better than his last year's at Indianapolis?
Yeah, it does. I'm telling you, his feet, he works on it hard every day. We see him work at it before the game, and he's showing off here in the game.
First down, great time. There is Thomas. Fights off the tackle and able to bring it all the way down to the 30, a gain of 17.
They love these stack releases. What does it do? You saw it that time. That's a nice job by Demaryius Thomas. You stack each other because it makes the defense back off because they don't want to get in trouble and get picked. That extra space is all you need to make an easy throw.
Josh Thomas, watch out. Perhaps his left hamstring. College football, we're still Danielson, Tracy Wolfson, that whole crew.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch, and you know, Texas A&M, they're not going to be one-game wonders. They got the look. And what do you think that game did for their recruiting class coming up this year?
First-year coach Kevin Sumlin doing the same great things he did for Houston.
Houston, your alma mater. Are you still mad at him, or are you okay now?
Yeah, he did great things. How can you be mad? Here's the pass down the sideline, and it's an over-the-shoulder grab by Dreesen to give him the catch.
Beautiful. Same thing again. One guy comes underneath, somebody goes deep. See the receiver under, then they shoot him through there. Godfrey, and hey, look, he's in perfect position. It is an absolute beautiful throw over the top. And how about that? Using the hands and getting the feet down.
That closes out the third quarter. Denver first and goal to go back after this message. And a word from your local station. We're going into the fourth quarter here in Charlotte. Jim Nantz and Phil Simms with the Broncos leading at 24-7 and threatening again. Willis McGahee is back into the game. Peyton's hit his last 8 throws. Had an earlier streak of 13 consecutive completions. McGahee back into the game and getting the carry, and he is swapped right away by Kuechly for no gain. This is a defense that's already lost John Beeson and Chris Gamble to injured reserve.
It was a really good job by Kuechly. You say, well, nobody blocked him. Well, what the Denver was hoping that they would block him back and he would try to rotate with the runner. He had none of that. He just shot the gap, made the tackle.
Touchdown pass here for Manning would put him past Dan Marino into second alone on the all-time list. And that's an incompletion. Carolina acting like they thought it was a fumble, but it was clearly a pass.
It was inside screen. Charles Johnson made the play.
In the area of McGahee, the throw.
They got everybody out of there. It's set up perfectly, but Charles Johnson was coming inside to rush the passer, saw it, and made the play. Nice job. Johnson, Hardy on the other side. This defense, a lot of things to be happy about so far for Carolina on the defensive side.
Third and goal, and can this be career touchdown pass number 421? As Peyton looks to the end zone, and the pass is incomplete. He had all kinds of pressure on him when he threw it. That thrown in the area of Tammy, and that'll call on now the services again of Prater.
If he had time, it's going to be a touchdown. But the pressure inside, they just push the pocket back. They don't let him get out and move. Neblet there because Demaryius Thomas back of the end zone uncovered.
Just a 27-yard attempt for Prater, who's made from 53, missed from 43, his only miss of the season. And this one is right through the uprights. So again, the Denver offense has been held to 1 touchdown today. A couple of Prater field goals, a special teams, and a defensive touchdown. Broncos with the 27-7 lead as the NFL continues to salute our servicemen and women. Beautiful ceremony here before the game began. Of course, all of us at CBS Sports also express our deepest appreciation for all their salute to service. Monty Edwards hopes he gets a chance, but no chance at all. Prater drills it right through the uprights. He's number 1 in the AFC in touchbacks, and you think, well, it's because he plays in Denver with all that thin air, but
so much for that theory.
So much for that theory, right?
Yeah, well, what would you say? Last week you said record ratings. Phil wasn't there. I was there this week, and you know what happened with the ratings, don't you, Jim?
Went straight in the tank, huh?
They went through the roof, baby.
Good, baby. I'll be watching on Wednesday night on Showtime inside the NFL. Look at this. And the ball's out. Ball is out.
Who made the hit? Von Miller.
It was Jonathan Stewart. And they rule it down, staying with the Panthers. Von Miller is absolutely hyperactive here today. Look at this.
He's just so quick and explosive. I think you said it early in the game. No cast, just feeling free, stronger, faster. Oh, he hits him, no. But he is so explosive. I've noticed it in the last few games. It's really stood out.
Jordan Gross with the recovery. And again, that Denver defense. What did you say? They're playing like they got a fever.
Yeah, they're playing like their pants are on fire. I don't know. Whatever you want to say, they're good. And look at the speed. That is what is standing out. They did not talk about, if Cam Newton runs the football. They weren't worried, and we know why. Because if he runs, they can chase him down, and then they beat him up. And Cam Newton is probably taking more hits today than maybe any game he's played in his short career.
One more sack, and that'll be a career high. Most times he's been knocked down. 3rd and 14. Can they finally convert? Not even close. Robert Ayers is the one this time, creating havoc. Ball is out there. They ruled it already an incompletion. At least look at the Panthers are jogging off.
That's an incomplete pass.
There it is, confirmed, incomplete.
Coverage down the field once again. Good protection. A lot of times today it has been very good protection, but there's nowhere to throw the football. Steve Smith not even looking to that side. Here's where he's looking, top of the screen. Both guys are covered, one doubled.
How about 7 3 and outs? Nortman getting a workout too. There's a little hesitation, and this time Holiday not able to get into a sprint. Nakamura is back there. 56-yard punt. That defensive unit with Doomerville's, of course, no pads on there, no shoulder pads. Ayers filling in for him, been so active. They've held the Panthers to 10 yards in this half. Meanwhile, Peyton has tied the Denver franchise record with 200 yards in 9 games on the season. Another catch by Thomas, good for about 6. Coming up, the Subway postgame show. JB, Dan Shannon, Boomer, Coach Cowher take you around the league, and there's some surprising scores around the league, including Cincinnati's dismantling of the Giants. Equally surprising, perhaps, Tennessee trouncing Miami. All those stories coming up. 2nd down and 4, and off the fingertips of McGahee as Kuechly was closing in on him.
You say, well, it's 27-7. Why is Denver still throwing the football? Because this is who they are. This is how you close the game out. By moving the football, not being predictable. And Peyton Manning has shown, taking no chances with the football, hadn't even come close to throwing an interception here today.
3rd down and 4. And that is Dreesen. Incomplete. Kuechly fighting with him and able to knock it loose, knock it out. It's almost a great catch by Dreesen.
Well, they're trying to really, it's another one of those 3 receivers picking and get Kuechly where he can't get in there and make this play. Kuechly's going for the interception and almost had it. Another good job of this Carolina defense.
Colquitt with Munnerlyn all the way back at the 14-yard line. And he fields it at the 6. Bruton is there. He's able to shake off that hit. Just barely across the 10-yard line. 55-yard punt that time. Back here in Charlotte, the Queen City of the South, as Cam Newton and the Panthers have been shut down this second half, only managing 10 yards of total offense. Flag comes out. Tony Carter tripped him up.
Pass interference, number 11, offense. Half the distance to the goal.
They brought in Gary Williams on that offensive line that has been manhandled. Ron Rivera sees another call go against his team. So offensive.
Oh, he just extended those arms. You know, when you push out and do that, that's an easy call. 2 offensive pass interferences against Carolina. At least the receivers are trying to be aggressive. And I'm not saying that with sarcasm. I mean it.
First and 15, and over to Tolbert. Looking is there for him. It's been a quiet day for Steve Smith, who caught a touchdown last week. The fine veteran, the 5-time Pro Bowler.
Well, it has been a quiet day. He's been open to get some catches, a couple down the field. It's not that they're not connecting. They're not close. Wide open there. That is a must-hit throw and catch that time. Steve Smith coming across the field. Jim, as we watched him, talked about him this week, talked with coaches, he is not slowing down. He can still be, and is, a premier wide receiver.
And 2nd and 7. Look out. They got him outside of the end zone, they're going to call it. And that's now a career high. Airs again. 6 times that Newton has been dropped.
You know, it just takes too long. You know the pressure's there. Nice job of getting inside Silatolu. But Robert Ayers, Chris Harris, Tony Carter, Danny Trevathan, all these guys are just, you know, it's not always the stars of this Denver Broncos defense. The other group is really come around, stepped up, and they're all making plays.
Boy, if you thought maybe they ought to consider a safety there, they actually say the sack should be marked at the 2-yard line. 3rd and 19. And here's your safety. Well, look at Von Miller celebrating again. Mike Adams is in on that pile. The safety able to produce a safety.
Well, Von Miller, you talked about it. The talk between him and Cam Newton during the offseason, yeah, it might have been said tongue-in-cheek. But I think Von Miller was taking it for real. He has shown that here today.
Look at Mike Adams, the former member of the Cleveland Browns.
He has solidified the safety spot on defense. Mike Adams, along with Raheem Moore.
And we got yet another Superman unveiling. Well, they together as a team, you can tell they had it in their head. They wanted to come here and basically make a mockery of that.
Well, you know, Jim, it always is. Things like that fire people up in the league. You know, I've noticed no matter who the player is, if you give them too much credit, all the players in the league, they want a piece of you. And so that happens with Cam Newton. Now you say, well, how come that doesn't happen to Peyton Manning? Well, Peyton Manning's won a Super Bowl, been the NFL MVP many times.
That's 4 times.
And he's delivered on the field so much and does it in such a way that, you know, it doesn't rub the players wrong. But Cam Newton being young, we'll probably see some of this stuff with the younger quarterbacks too.
7 times now, Denver has sacked Cam Newton by 6 different players. Ayers has 2. And that Denver defense has come up with 9 points. Holiday Super Bowl 38, Carolina and New England. John Fox took the Panthers to Houston. Adam Vinatieri won it at the end, 32-29. Tom Brady was the MVP. Coming up on 9 years ago. Super Bowl 38 down in Houston. And for Coach Fox to come back here, his team to play like this, how much does it mean to them? He really underplayed it all week long.
Well, of course he underplayed it, and of course it means a lot to him. You know, he put a lot of years and had some really good success here.
McGahee for about 6.
You know, Jim, for coaches, very few coaches does it end well with the franchise you're with. Very, very few. Sometimes, sooner or later, that team is going to fall apart a little. You're going to get fired, and it's emotional.
Yeah, the winningest coach in Carolina history. Now in his second year at Denver. Still has his home here in Charlotte. He had all the coaches, and the coaches' wives made this trip. Had a little afternoon gathering yesterday there. That goes through the hands of Decker. Set up 3rd and 4. He told us, you know, I've never even been in the visitors' locker room at the stadium. I don't even know where it is. And then you talk to Peyton. You could tell Peyton really wanted to win this for Fox. Yeah. He had been through one of these coaches' return games before when Tony Dungy went back to Tampa. Right. That was the game you might remember, was that Monday night unbelievable 21-point comeback by the Colts to win it.
I'm sure John Fox said nothing to the players, but the players knew. And right now, this team, they're clicking on the field, but you can tell the chemistry between the coaches and the players. That is outstanding, too. Third down, it's outstanding.
3rd and 4. And that's to Thomas, and he almost is able to catch up to it. He got separation late from Norman.
How about
Actually,
that?
from Thomas.
There again, you saw the little stack. They're expecting, oh, they're going to throw it short. They send him deep. Oh, keep those arms in. What little I know about being a receiver, wait till the last second to extend the arms. That keeps you fast. Just miss it.
6th punt of the day coming up for Colquitt. And that ball will die at the 23-yard line. Carolina scored first in this one. What has been all Denver since. 29 unanswered. Year was really brutal. They got off at a 2-3 start. But it's pretty clear sailing by and large. They got one team with a winning record coming into this weekend. The rest of the way, that would be Baltimore. Here 1st and 10 for the Panthers, who offensively just can't get it going. Although that's a hard-fought 9 yards by Jonathan Stewart. Next week's a doubleheader weekend on CBS. Cleveland at Dallas early, plus other regional action, and then late, some will see San Diego against Denver, others will see Indianapolis. Andrew Luck against Tom Brady next weekend.
Offense, too many men in the field, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
It all gets started with the NFL Today, presented by Southwest Airlines. How about Andrew Luck and the Colts now 6-3? They'll be taking on the Patriots next week. We used to long for those Indy-New England matchups. Still going to be a good one.
And Indy still has a really good quarterback, even though Peyton's not there. But Ron Rivera, that just says it all. Too many men on the field. The mistakes his team has made today. Going to be a rough session tomorrow in front of that team.
2nd down and 6. LaFell pushed out by Adams, but not enough for the first. Perhaps they'll go back to Steve Smith in his direction. It's been a surprisingly quiet game for Steve Smith. You know, back this summer when there was the tragic shooting out in Colorado in Aurora, it really touched Steve Smith so much as a father. His oldest son, named Peyton, by the way, went to a midnight showing of the movie The Dark Knight here in Charlotte. And Smith, as a parent, was just so again, touched by the reaction, the outpouring of love and support. He sent a check for $100,000 to the Aurora Victims Relief Fund. 3rd down and 2. And we got a flag. They were going to Smith.
Holding, number 24, defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
They'll finally convert on 3rd down. It wasn't really the kind of conversion that counts, but it'll move the chains anyway for a first down just inside of 8 minutes.
Pretty incredible story about Steve Smith, to say that for it to touch him that way, and then he
no ties to the area,
right, and to
Colorado.
back it up and make that donation.
Yep.
Tremendous stuff.
There's time here for Newton. And he goes back to Olsen, who we saw a lot of earlier, the tight end scoring the Panthers touchdown. That's good for 14.
Yeah, great, really good throw by Cam Newton. He threw it, made Greg Olsen stop, and he threw it low because Mike Adams was coming in to make a big hit or an interception.
Right over the hands of Woodyard. Woodyard tried to make the pick, and Olsen has the catch instead for 8.
Now you talk about this Panther receiving core. It is Steve Smith, number 1, but Greg Olsen is number 2. He is a tight end who can get down the field. Jeff Jasinski, the offensive coordinator, he's coached, you know, Kellen Winslow, Antonio Gates. Now he has Greg Olsen.
Up the middle, Tolbert has the first down. Greg Olsen's family, again, with a long football history. His father, a high school coach, is going to retire. He's going to move down here.
Right.
He's got a younger brother who has tremendous potential, a quarterback, Kevin. He's going to be playing for the University of Miami.
Senior in high school this year.
First down throw, and it's back to Olsen. Woodyard finally makes the tackle, picks up 18.
A lot of ways for him to get it done. They send him deep down the field a lot to the outside. Number 88 releases inside, then shoots across the middle, and another good throw by Cam Newton. And it's Rob Chuzinski. Sorry, I called him Jeff. I call Jim the wrong name sometimes too.
There's a pick up there for Edwards. Just his 3rd catch of the season. And finally, the Panthers offense starting to get a little rhythm. That goes for 9.
Well, to get that rhythm, and I'm not putting it on the offensive line all either, Jim. The quarterback's got to throw the passes in rhythm. And that means sometimes if you just throw it away, do it. Don't take the sacks.
They brought in David Gaddis. He's been out for a long time as receiver. And that's a carry good for a first down by Tolbert.
Yeah, we were watching Geddes. He's been out a while. We were watching him warm up. I pointed out to you watching, and he was impressive.
Well, he had
Could be a big part of this offense as time goes on.
no question, ending injury last year, and has been slow to get back into it again with a knee this year. Finally seeing some snaps for the first time today.
Yep, he's been back to practice for 3 weeks.
Got 5-9. Lefty one. 180.
On 1st and goal. Pocket sealed. Great time here for Cam. And that draws a flag on Harris. He got tangled up with LaFell.
Pass interference. Number 25, defense. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Well, Jim, let's be quarterback this time. We'll be Cam Newton. And as you watch the play, as they go down the field, good protection there. Nobody in his face so he can see. Look at the coverage right now. Everybody is locked on. Nobody even close to being open, and they're fortunate to get a pass interference. It was one of the big keys to this game. Could the Carolina wide receivers separate from the defensive backs of Denver today?
First and goal again. Lob through the back of the end zone. And your answer to that question you asked a moment ago, could they get free? Could they get away from the line of scrimmage? You haven't really seen it, have you?
No. It's been a combination of everything, but if we're just looking at the wide receivers and judging them as they're running down, and Jim, I'm not, this bottom of the screen, locked on, Champ Bailey against Edwards, top, nothing. I mean, even when you show the replays, you can't even say, well, if you'd have looked at this guy. But they do this a lot.
180.
Champ Bailey, Chris Harris.
Second and goal. Back to Olsen, and he reaches across for the touchdown. His second of the day.
And there's their best matchup on the field by far. A safety trying to cover Greg Olsen. And make no doubt about it, this Greg Olsen, he can run like a wide receiver. 88 goes up, shakes across the field. Good catch, good job knowing where you are, of course. Near the end zone, reach out and get the touchdown.
What a day for Olsen. 9 catches, 102 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
I saw him working out in high school one day. Right before his senior year, there was a receiver coach from Southern California watching him, Lane Kiffin.
How about that?
So everybody knew back in high school he was special.
Medlock with the point after. It's a 2-score game with 5 minutes to go. 29-14. You see that drive, and then the one they had in the first quarter, you say, why hasn't that happened more often? They've had 7 3-and-outs. Couldn't even pick up a first down on 7 of those drives.
Yeah, well, you got to understand the score of the game and where you're at.
So he's got his career high 9 catches. I think we mentioned earlier Tom Moore is in attendance at the game. There he is.
There he is. That's right.
Long time part of that whole successful group up in Indianapolis with Peyton, offensive coordinator.
You know why I'm laughing? Because he's going, well, we did this stuff for the last 14 years. Oh, look at him.
Tell you what, he's looking very healthy these days. He's been, sitting out for a couple of years now. He's had his knees replaced.
Yeah, listen, there's no doubt. I do believe Tom Moore wants to get back in the NFL and coach again. And what he coaches will still work. There's no doubt about it. He still has command of players. I said to him, Tom, do you ever second guess yourself when a game is over about play calls? Onside kick.
Right into the hands of Thomas.
And he says to me, Phil, Shakespeare once said, we're all geniuses after the fact. And I just went, okay. Then,
Yeah, his ties with that whole Indianapolis juggernaut go all the way back to when he recruited Tony Dungy to come to the University of Minnesota as a young man.
Said that what he did at Indianapolis, he was doing that long ago at Minnesota with Tony Dungy as his quarterback. So that's pretty amazing. Tom Moore had 3 different styled offenses in the NFL, and all 3 had great success.
5 minutes, 8 seconds to go. McGahee with a flag has about 3.
Holding, number 78 offense, 10-yard penalty, replay first down.
Ball on Clady. Again, this Subway postgame show will be coming up next. JP, Dan, Shannon, Coach Cower, Boomer. Getting set to take you around the league. Yeah, he worked out Tom Moore worked out Andrew Luck for the combine. Man has unbelievable knowledge of this game. Back to McGahee and an open alley and a ball out. My goodness, it looks like a recovery for Carolina. Although Denver thinks otherwise, and it's going to stay with the Broncos. Now McGahee's already coughed it up once.
Oh yeah, he's coming right out. They're bringing in Hillman. And it's nice blocking that time. Boy, Dan Copen, Zane Beadles, Clady.
Came back to McGahee.
Came back to him, and that was Johnson coming from the left defensive end, coming across and making the hit to cause the fumble. Late in the game with the lead, it is definitely always a two-arm protect the football when you run it.
It goes in the books as a 13-yard gain. And here is Hillman. Hiding for a moment behind Manny Ramirez. By the way, the Chargers have lost. Denver will be hosting San Diego next week. You look at this upcoming schedule, and of course now Tampa with the win goes over 500, but the game at Baltimore will be a beauty. And there's one more in addition to that, December 30th against Kansas City. But so they got the Chiefs twice coming up at 1-17. Very favorable schedule for a team, as John Elway has to be thrilled the way things are coming together. Timeout called by the Panthers. You know, they're going to start thinking about, okay, sizable lead in the division. Talk about possible, you know, as you get on down the road here, seeding implications.
Oh, yeah, I think we're not there yet, Jim. But the team of Peyton Manning, we've talked so much about him, but it's the other parts of the team. The defense, the depth of the defense, and the kicker and punter. Oh, and that's right. Now they got a returner who can make plays in Trendon Holiday. So overall, this team really shaping up well.
3rd and 7, and that is Thomas in stride. Thomas takes it to the 4-yard line.
Well, they tried that play earlier, and they had it. Different formation. This time, Demaryius Thomas just lines up, goes to the inside.
Thomas, who has more big plays than anyone in the league, the most plays over 25 yards.
Oh, he looks it in and still almost misses it, but so many times when you talk about receivers in the NFL, you win at the line of scrimmage, and that time he did it. Nice fake, gets inside, free release, hard to catch up to him.
Peyton goes over 300 with that 46-yard play. Hillman's in for the touchdown. His first NFL touchdown. He got away from Nakamura. 21-year-old Ronnie Hillman.
Well, Hillman, the nice change of pace running back. And you said it, Nakamura has him, but he just runs through the tackle. Shows that speed. I think what we've seen, Jim, over the last, when we first saw him, he was a gadget running back. Now they're running him in between the tackles. That time just off tackle, it makes a good run.
So just when there was a flicker of hope, when McGahee had the ball pop out, only to recover it himself, would have given Carolina the ball at midfield had they made the recovery. Instead, Peyton to Thomas to set it up for Hillman the rest of the way. With John Elway down there on the one sideline, Ron Rivera on the other. We're talking Stanford against Cal. And those two were on the field together for the infamous play, the play, November 20th, 1982. 30 years ago when Cal, in the big game, back and forth they go through the Stanford band.
And what did that play do? It kept John Elway from ever going to a bowl game in his college career.
Isn't that amazing?
How about that? #1 player picked in the NFL draft, arguably one of the top 5 quarterbacks that ever played, never played in a bowl game. Well, that would, in today's world, he's just not a winner.
Well, he made up for the missed bowl games by playing in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, how many times?
5 times. Five times.
Yeah, he got even.
And by the way, Richard Rodgers, who's the Panthers' assistant special teams coach, was part of the play as well.
There was replay that might not have happened.
He was with Rivera for the Cal Golden Bears. Member of that team. Yeah, replay that would not have happened.
It was close. I never really looked at that close, but the one lateral was the player down before he lateraled the football. Yeah, Peyton still going over it. I think that, believe it or not, Jim, I think that last touchdown meant a lot to this Broncos offense because, it wasn't quite the day they wanted. There's no doubt. They missed some plays that were out there. They fumbled the ball a few times, missed some passes down the field, dropped a couple. So that kind of, believe it or not, at 36-14, that last drive lets them get on that plane with a little better taste in their mouth.
Well, they'll tell you, they practice better every week. And as Peyton would tell you, we're not going to fall victim to a trap game because we're still trying to figure out who we are. Here's Williams scooting out of bounds. They seem to be right now really buying into everything.
Yeah, the team
to a man,
Yeah, I like what John Fox says to us. It said something to him one day at practice about practice. He goes, hey, look, it's my job to make sure Peyton doesn't kill all the guys, because if it was up to him, we'd be out there forever going over stuff. And I just laughed, and it's a good problem to have as a head coach, worried about your guys overworking because they want to.
That's a blitz. Newton is hit. He got hit high and low, and it draws a flag. Miller was low. Unless we've got a lineman down.
Passer, number 58 defense.
Well, Miller
hit below the knees. 15 yards, automatic first down.
So Von Miller called for that one. You're giving Denver the win here to go 6-3. Effectively a 3-game lead in the division at the moment with its head-to-head victory, that comeback win down at San Diego.
That makes next week's game against the San Diego Chargers. Makes it really, well, it makes it almost a must-win. Of course, Denver will be looking at it for a quick start that time.
This is the backup tight end with the catch. Barnage for 8. By the way, you can see as the scores rotate through, the Falcons have suffered their first loss of the season. Had a chance to win the game, or at least go ahead in the last 2 minutes, but the Saints put together a magnificent goal line stand. Inside give for a first down to Williams. Good for 4.
You look at this game today, Jim. The defense, we've talked about it many times, the Carolina Panthers, they're going to give them a chance to have success the rest of the year. The offense definitely has to tighten up big time.
Ayers coming in, almost knocked the ball loose. Ball launched to the end zone and batted down. That was Omar Bolden back on the coverage of Edwards.
Yeah, good coverage down the field. Cam Newton just a little pressure. Again, not able to even get it out there all the way. And Bolden, good spot to be when you're trying to defend the pass. But when I say tighten up, what I mean is just mistakes, penalties, playing a certain way. Knowing if your defense is playing really well, then don't take chances on offense. Manage the game. That's up to the quarterback and the coaches all to get in the same mindset, make it work as a team.
2nd down and 10. LaFell trying to make the cut, but Harris wasn't going to let him get away. As we move in on the 2-minute warning. Carolina on its way to its 4th consecutive home loss. It will drop them to 2-7 on the season. 2 minutes to go in this one. Again, there's the owner of the Panthers on the left, Jerry Richardson. Danny Morrison, the president of the organization, on the right. And they know that this was a game where they were hoping to rally the home base here, the fan base.
They all were. This was the game that was going to, the season's not over. Let's move forward. One thing they got to do too, Jim, they got to...
Neutral zone infraction, number 91 defense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Hire a new general manager, so that'll be the big news around here. What they do as the year gets near the end. I did read where Ernie Accorsi is going to be help him along with that process to, what do you do? Why do they need him? Well, they need him because he was a successful general manager with the New York Giants what to look for, and I'm sure most of all give them some candidates that are ready to be general manager.
3rd and 6. The Denver defense comes up with another play. It's an interception by Moore. Raheem Moore. And Denver, for the first time in years, is going to hold a team without a 3rd down conversion on a game since 2000. Carolina 0 for 12 on the day, and on this occasion, again, losses and dives down in front of a bunch of Panthers in a loss of 3. Out of this Denver team, it's been interesting. We were with them a lot early in the year when they faced that brutal schedule, and now you see them by the week getting on the same page as they talk about. That's something that McGahee certainly expounded on last night with us. Those first 3 games we lost, he said we were not on the same page with Peyton. They certainly are now. It's going to take them to 6-3 on the year. And interestingly, Ron Rivera's team, they've only had one other game like this where they really had it handed to them, and it was the New York Giants. So Eli and Peyton Manning both put up big performances against the Panthers. Peyton will tie Dan Marino on the all-time win list as a quarterback, number 147. Only Favre and Elway have more. John Fox comes back to Carolina and gets a resounding victory. So the final score here is Denver 36 and Carolina 14. Coming up next, the Subway postgame show. So for Phil Simms and all the crew, Lance Barrow and Mike Arnold, it's Jim Nantz saying so long from Charlotte. You've been watching the NFL on CBS. Right now, let's